Hello, Malin.
Hi, Weeby. How are you?
Very good, thank you. All right, we just celebrated the Lunar New Year yesterday. So tell us, how did the Asian markets perform, today, a day after the Lunar New Year's?
Okay, Weeby. Markets in mainland China, Hong Kong, Singapore, and South Korea were still closed on Wednesday for the Lunar New Year holidays, but in other Asia Pacific markets, shares rose. For example, the Nikkei 225 jumped 1.68%, the ASX 200 Australia climbed 1.17%, Weeby, and the Nifty 50 rose 1.16%. And then if we look at Wall Street before the Lunar New Year holiday, Wall Street shares in January posted best three-day rally since 2020 after being in a turmoil. Economically sensitive sector like energy and banks helped the US stocks to rebound. Analysts said stocks probably have a little further to move on the downside before they find a bottom. Maybe this week earnings are coming from Amazon, Ford Motor, Meta Platforms, Qualcomm, Sony, and Spotify. Let's have a quick recap on the Alphabet's fourth quarter earnings, VB.
Right.
So Google parent Alphabet reported better than expected fourth quarter revenue. Despite pressures from the pandemic and inflation, Alphabet EPS stood at 30.69 USD. Google's advertising revenue came in at 61.24 billion USD for the quarter, up 33%. The company's cloud reported revenue of 45%. YouTube ad revenue was the only metric that fell short of analyst expectations as the company has been challenged by TikTok. Alphabet also announced for 20 for 1 stock split that will be taking place in July 2022. So be ready for that.
All
Back to
right.
you, baby.
All right, so it looks like Alphabet is really enjoying better than the estimated revenues on there. So let's look at the domestic market for today. Do we have a new member on the LQ45?
Yes, that's right, Vivi. So let's do a quick recap first for today's trading. Jakarta Composite jumped 1.15% back to its psychological level of 6,706. Indonesia Bureau of Statistics reported Indonesia's annual inflation increased to a 20-month high of 2.18% in January 2022, VB, from 1.87% in December 2021 and compared with the market consensus of 2.15%. That's for the inflation, while Indonesia's IHS Market Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, or the PMI, was at the level of 53.7. It's an expansion and better if you compare it to the 53.5 in December 2021. And as you mentioned, we have the rebalancing of a number of indexes in Indonesia, and it's effective on the first trading day of February today. Let's check new constituents for IDX High Dividend 20, effective from February 2022 to February 2023. So it's for 1 year. We have new additions to the list. ADMF Adira Dinamika Multi Finance, and we have ANTM Aneka Tambang, Hexa Hexindo Adiperkasa, MPMX Mitra Pinastika Mustika. We can say that the market participants are not really reacting to the list of high dividend 20, but market participants do react to the new list of LQ45. We need, as I mentioned, we have new constituents to the LQ45 effective from February 2022 to July 2022. Let's check it out. We
Right.
have AMRT Sumber Alpharia Trijaya up 8.58% to 1,265. We have BFI Finance Indonesia, or BFIN, up 4.6% to 1,365. PMTK, Elang Mahkota Technology, also a new constituent to the LQ45, soared 16.43% to 2090. HRUM Harum Energy only climbed 0.24% to 10,650, and Waskita Karya WSKT jumped 5.13% to 615 VB. Other than the rebalancing of the indexes in Indonesia, market participants are closely watching the volatile rise of MNC Group shares. Let's check them out. We have BCAP, MNC Capital Indonesia skyrocketed 30.56% to 141. IPTP MNC Vision Network soared 25.19% to 106. T9, BABP Bank MMC International jumped 19.23% to 186. BHIT MNC Investamo also advanced 8.47% to 64. Regarding the surge of the stock, PCAP MNC Capital Indonesia Management stated to Indonesia Stock Exchange Authority that there's no material fact that would reasonably be expected to have a significant impact on the price of the stock. Yet, they confirmed that in the next 2 months, there is a possibility that an international digital bank will be a strategic investor of MMC International, strategic investor of MMC Capital or its subsidiary. MMC Capital Director Vito Mailoa stated that on the 1st of December 2021, the company signed a non-disclosure agreement or an NDA with a digital bank based overseas to be a strategic investor in MNC Capital or its subsidiary. Meanwhile, BCAP subsidiary MNC Bank International (BABE) will carry out a private placement in the near future. The details of the private placement will be announced tomorrow on Thursday, 3rd of February. In regard to this possible move, you can see that market participants are not only paying attention to MLC Capital Indonesia or Bank MLC International, but also other shares within MLC Group, for example, IPTV and BHIT. For this week, investors are keeping an eye on several data releases. We have Eurozone CPI, Bank of England with decisions also this week, the Fed Board of Governors confirmation hearings, and US payroll report for January that will be released on Friday. That's all for today. We'll be back soon.
All right, that sounds all very comprehensive. We're always happy to hear your analysis. Thank you very much, Aline Wiratmaja, our senior business correspondent. Thank you.